Everything you need to know about the $10 billion Bagamoyo port project in Tanzania. Hello explorers, welcome to another informative video presented to you by the Explorer, and thanks for watching. In this video, we shall bring you everything you need to know about the $10 billion Bagamoyo port project in Tanzania. The Bagamoyo port project is a project which is being implemented in Bagamoyo, Tanzania, expected to be one of the largest governmental infrastructures projects in the country, as well as the largest port in East Africa. The Bagamoyo port and its affiliate industrial zone is meant to address congestion at the old port and support Tanzania to become East Africa's leading shipping and logistics centers. The three-government venture between Tanzania, China and Oman also involves the construction of a special economic zone adjacent to the port, which will play host to about 190 industries, including the manure processing industry. This project, which commenced in 2018, is far from being complete. But given its stake, it's compelling that we look into everything we need to know about it, starting from its initial background, the partners involved and their consensus. If you are new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our videos. The project involves the construction of a special economic zone adjacent to the port and also of 190 industries, including the manure processing industry, that will be put by the government of Oman around Bagamoyo area. When fully developed, the Bagamoyo Special Economic Zone will attract about 700 industries to become a strategic investment zone in East Africa. The industrial zone will also have rail links to the Tazara Railway and Tanzanian Central Railway. Timeline of the project. The agreement for the project was signed by former Tanzanian President Jakaya Kikwete in 2013, and by 2015 contracts to begin port construction was signed in October of 2015, and phase 1 of the project was set for completion in 2017. Unfortunately, in January 2016, the project was cancelled by President John Magufuli's government due to unfavorable terms set by the investor. The terms included Tanzania giving China a guarantee of 33 years and a lease of 99 years, and the country should not question whoever comes to invest there once the port is operational. Also, once the port construction is complete, there should be no other ports to be built all the way from Tanga to Mtwara south. The president of Tanzania said that the condition set by the investor amounts to selling Tanzania to China. However, in 2017, the Tanzanian government officially submitted its letter of approval for the Bagamoyo Special Economic Zone venture to China Merchants Port, agreeing and accepting the investor's comprehensive project proposal in a cabinet meeting. The approval by the government represented a breakthrough in the Bagamoyo project. However, China Merchants Port agreed to work with Oman partners to promote the Bagamoyo Special Economic Zone project. Tanzanian ambassador to China, Mr. Mbelmwa Kairuki, expressed his gratitude for the participation of China Merchants Port in the Bagamoyo project, hoping that they will work with the Oman Sovereign Fund to advance the project. He also assured the potential investors of the government's commitment to fully support smooth implementation of the project in 2018. The project finally got the go-ahead from the stakeholders, and work started around June to July, but in 2019 construction stalls after China and Tanzania disagreed on terms of infrastructure investment. But then, why was this? Stalling since 2019. Tanzania's Bagamoyo port project charted a new trajectory in China and Tanzanian relationships. Despite several negotiations and diplomatic discussions, the port project did receive a green signal. The agreement for the Bagamoyo port project was signed in 2013 when various African organizations and citizens labeled the agreement as a killer Chinese loan and demanded that Jakaya Kikwete, former president of Tanzania, reject the offer. Despite this, the offer was accepted by the then president. However, in January 2016, John Magufuli formed his government and immediately announced the suspension of the project. The president forthwith said that the former president negotiated the project poorly and started the project on conditions that were equivalent to selling Tanzania to China. With series of closed-door negotiations and unknown reasons, work on the project was resumed in 2018 but halted indefinitely in 2019. Magufuli's government suspended the Chinese funding of the $10 billion Bagamoyo port project on the grounds of being exploitative and awkward. After releasing these abrasive statements, the Tanzanian president set the precedent to abrogate abusive conditions. Renegotiations with China Merchants Holdings International was initiated on 21st October 2019, wherein the president released its 5-point agenda, which included shifting of the 99 years lease to 33 years. This leave was an undertaking to allow China to rent the port while limiting the jurisdiction of the Tanzanian government, especially in future potential investments. The new condition also entailed the removal of tax holidays and special statuses earlier offered. The removal of special status will result in the procurement of electricity and water by the China merchants at the market rates. Along with this, CMHI further received prohibitions to run any other businesses on the port. Another key revision was the retention of the right of developing other ports by the Tanzanian government. Adding to the chaos, CMHI released a public statement stating non-receiver of any document from Mr. Kakoko, and the parties had already agreed on the 33-year lease period. In April 2020, non-state news agencies published that the Tanzanian president had cancelled the project, to which Cheng Wang, who is a civil servant at the Ministry of Commerce of the People's Republic of China (MOFCOM) and currently the commercial attaché at the Chinese embassy in Muscat, Oman, provided another perspective via a thread of 11 tweets. Wang stated that the $10 billion is the final investment amount invested by various investors and operators, and hence claims that there was never a $10 billion deal on the port project from China alone. The Bagamoyo port project is a three-government project between China Merchants Group and State General Reserve Fund (SGRF), Oman and Tanzania. According to him, SGRF had no less than 10% share in the project, and hence the company was required to make investments equivalent to its share. Though he highlighted no objections with the cancellation of the project, but the amount of misinformation and manipulation associated with the project was ridiculous. In addition, amidst the COVID-19 pandemic, several African students have been facing discrimination and harassment in China. The situation intensified as there was protest held by the local communities against the presence of Chinese labor in Africa, expressing their anger and discontent. The protesters demanded to cut off all economic links with China due to the realization that Chinese involvement in their respective countries was bringing more harm than good. Although the Chinese embassy in Tanzania refused to accept these allegations of discrimination in a tweet where Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Zhao Lijiang says China treats all foreign nationalities equal, rejects differential treatment, and has zero tolerance for discrimination. These ongoing tensions between China and Africa are bound to have associated impacts influencing the Tanzanian president to take an epochal decision on the Tanzanian port project, which was a key component in China's Belt and Road Initiative (BRI). Like other least developing nations who were associated with BRI projects, Tanzania's government feared that the Bagamoyo port project would bring no profits in the country. The cancellation of the project had an adverse impact on China's credibility and jeopardized the future of BRI in East Africa. One of the major drawbacks of the Chinese investment has been that China does not believe in transferring the technological know-how onto the target country. Rather, it carries out independent execution of infrastructural projects. The trend of investment by the Chinese government to Tanzania indicates a huge bulk directed towards the power sector. The loan of the power sector was sourced from the Export-Import Bank of China in 2012 for the construction of a gas pipeline from Nazi Bay to Dar es Salaam. In 2016, extended $92 billion line of credit (LOC) for rehabilitation and improvement of Zanzibar water supply system to Tanzania and strengthen its development ties. With a cursory comparison of the two developmental aids, one can infer that China is one of the major sources of borrowing for the African nation. Recent reports from the Wall Street Journal reveal that the Africa debt owed to China has piled up to a whopping $143 billion over the past 2 decades. Considering the repercussions of the non-payment of Chinese loans, this piece of news does not bode well for Tanzania, and the continuity of the port project would have worsened the debt. Despite these experiences, the utility of the projects implemented in the African continent by the Chinese government cannot be denied. China and Tanzania's economic and political relations have grown exponentially. Earlier last year, the Ministry of State in the Prime Minister's office responsible for investments, Angela Kairuki, acknowledged the presence of Chinese investments in Tanzania, stating that China's role in helping Tanzania towards attaining a middle-income country status by the year 2025 is of utmost importance. There were reports of China and Tanzania supporting each other amidst the ongoing pandemic, so the pertinent question remains whether such projects are relevant, if they do not seem to bring any tangible benefits to the target country, and whether they justify the struggle and exploitation accompanying them. Investments made in an infrastructure project should ideally provide a return covering at least the outlay. If it fails to do so, then the problem of upholding debt obligations arises. The Tanzanian president's firm diligence has set an example for other African leaders to bear that the investments made must be in accordance with economic and political needs, and such kinds of exploitative projects should not be agreed upon. There you have it, explorers. That was everything you needed to know about the $10 billion Bagamoyo port in Tanzania. Thanks for watching this video, and if you did enjoy this video, do want to give it a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe and share with your friends.